up there, Dr. Dre? Or Dre? Let's give it a few minutes. See if any action comes about. You never know. No impromptu fights that I've seen. That's the first time in all the years I've been in Starbucks in Thailand that I've seen anybody fight. In all the years I've been here, that's the first time. The manager said that it happens in other places, but just doesn't happen here. Let's get a view of a Texas chicken. Another little test stream here. God, looking rough today, man. Whew. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. I have no idea. It's been this long before. It's been longer before. I don't really keep track of how long it's been, though. No fighting in here today, fortunately. Well, that's a good question. I didn't say you can't come into the bar. What I said was the bars will be open, but you can't come in. You can't, tourists can't come into Thailand, so the majority of people going to the bars will be expats and maybe some Thais, but the Thais don't go into the Western bars very often. So, I don't know, maybe it's just a test run for them to see how many people end up with the virus that go to the bars. I don't know. I've noticed Asian cultures look more negatively upon beards. Have you? I really don't care how they feel about it, to be honest. If I want a beard, I'm growing a beard. I have no reason to care about what they like or look down upon. I don't really give a shit. You know, it's not because I want to go against the way they think, and I understand that some of them don't like it. If I was single and younger, I probably would be shaved. At least if I was going to go out on a date or something, maybe I would shave or at least trim the beard or something. Yeah, I've been married forever, man. I'm not shaving this beard off. My wife doesn't always like it. She doesn't like the white in it. I'm like, live with it. She can live with it. The problem really is that they're not letting tourists in until at least September. Some of them don't like it. I mean, listen, my kids, now maybe it's because of me, but like Alex he's got a mustache and he's starting to grow a little bit of chin hair on him. Nicholas is just now starting to. So, you know, they don't care. And I think that for them, none of the girls care. Their girls don't care. You know. After you've been married for a long time, though, it's kind of like I go out. my old lady, she's not going with me. She don't care. She's like, you know, you don't want to trim your beard or whatever. What's going on, Niall? How you doing? No, they're not opening today. They're opening supposedly July 1st. But the point is that they're opening July 1st, but the tourists can't come in July 1st. It's going to be mainly the medical tourists and the people with work permits. The people with work permits are not frequenting the bars all the time, and the medical expats certainly are not. So, you know, maybe it's a bit of a test for them to see just how people fare and how the virus, whether it increases, the numbers increase or not because the bars open up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows? At this point, I think it's just, you know, listen, just open up, take your chances. How have employees in bars been making money? However they can. I don't know. Some of them do the online thing. Some of them, you know, they're crying for money. They're sending emails to their boyfriends. You know, some of them are back home. Most of them are back home, you know, or many of them. They're back home in their province, living with, you know, mama and papa, or living with their family, or living with their boyfriend, or whatever. But, you know, so why open them if you can't come in, huh? Well, I just said that. I just answered that because maybe the numbers that will go into the bars are not that small because it'll be expats, mainly expats, and people that are working here. You know, it could be English teachers or whatever. And so there's not a huge number of people going in. So this way they get to see, okay, what happens when we open the bars up. But the people who make up the majority of the tourists, make the majority of the people visiting to the bars, tend to be tourists or long-term tourists. So, you know, the numbers are going to be much less than, say, in a couple of months. Because they're saying already now that they may not open up until September. So, you know, it's... Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that they're talking about right now, but until they're finalized, you know, there's $100,000 insurance, and there's this and there's that. But, you know, if you are a retiree or you are married to a Thai, I'm not sure that they'll have the same requirements. They may. And what about people that are working here? They work for big companies, and, you know, maybe they make the company responsible. I don't know how they do it. They make you put a deposit down like in Cambodia. You pay $3,000 or whatever, you know. Yeah, I don't, you know, listen, when I think about it, I'm like, it's not that bad, you know. All right, let's take a look over here. Our little friends. Gennaro's probably not here right now, but the normal girls are here, the usual girls, Beer and Tien. So, you know, I don't know what their logic is. They don't have the same logic as most Westerners have. You know, I don't know. What is not happening in my situation working here? What are you talking about? What is not happening? No Preo, no. She's not here. She'll probably be here later. 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. I don't know. I won't be here. Well, oh, you mean they're not going to be forking over deposit money for you or for anybody else? Listen, I've come to grips with that. I don't like what Thailand is offering, which is you got to have a 2-week quarantine and you're paying for everything. I like what Cambodia is offering, which is you put up $3,000, You stay in a hotel for one night, you get your test, and as long as you're cool, then there's no problem. You can go about your merry way and you get your money back. With Thailand, you're going to piss away $2,000, and and even this is what they're talking about with the wealthier tourists now is. I just can't see it happening, but stick you on an island somewhere and you can't leave until until the 14 days is up. Well, I'm sorry you don't like it with the white in it, but I'll get over it, believe me. I'm not really here to please you, Nydia. I am what I am. Period. End of story. I've long ago come to the conclusion that I just don't have enough fucks to care anymore. They're gone. They're all gone. No offense, Nydia, but Mr. Mitch, how you doing? We should point it in this direction, away from me. Maybe we'll catch a little brawl. I don't know what the odds are of me catching that little scrap, which was not much of a scrap. I don't know what the odds were, but that they had to be pretty high. Best to wait a while countries open up, I think. Yeah, I mean, I've been planning. The last couple of days. I said I've had my passion to travel has been reignited. But I need to go to some new places, and so I was thinking to myself, how far ahead do I need to plan to take a trip that's a semi-epic trip? And I'm thinking about a year to 18 months. That's how far off it is. I can't plan anything less than that because I just don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to have to go through the huge hassle of sitting here for 2 weeks, What is this? Cambodia is handling the pandemic better than some. Did I say that? See, don't put words into my mouth, please. I didn't say that. What I said was I like their method of dealing with incoming tourists better than I like what Thailand is proposing. Cambodia's idea and what they're doing is you have to come up with $3,000. You put the $3,000 down as a deposit. That pays for your test, your COVID test. And it also pays for a night in a hotel, one night in a hotel. And then as long as nobody else tests positive on the plane, and you don't test positive, you get your money back, I guess when you leave. And you get, so you may only spend $200, $150 or whatever. Whereas in Thailand, you're paying for a hotel under quarantine where you have nurses checking your temperature and that kind of thing. I don't know. With Thailand, it takes time for everything to pan out. So we'll see what happens. Well, what do you think I'm streaming for? To be completely honest, I'm streaming today. There was 2 things I wanted to check on the stream, and one of them I figured out I can't do it. I didn't really even need to stream for that, which is to restream through Facebook using Streamlabs. And but the thing is even like I was talking to Jono this morning. we're both like, yeah, you know, this is cabin fever setting in because, yeah, I can travel around Thailand a little bit, but I can't leave. And I don't like not being able to leave, not being able to go somewhere for at least a 3-day weekend or a week or whatever it is. And I want to take some trips now, especially now. I just realized I was thinking to myself, I'm going to be planning this out. I'm going to have to plan it out for a year in advance, a year and a half in advance. And you know, I've been looking at various countries in Africa and how to go about doing things, and it works out to where if I do some kind of a tour, I have some kind of a guide, it'll cost about $300 a day. That's what it breaks out down to. Just about every single tour, it's 280, 320, but its average is about 300 bucks a day. So 300 bucks a day. Yo, what's happening, man? 300 bucks a day. You know, you figure 3 weeks, 6,300 bucks. It's a nice chunk of change, but it's not unreachable, unobtainable. For me, 25,000 to go away for a month like I was expecting, that's too much. After the quarantine, could you gain entry into Thailand? No, you can't. Just because you were in Cambodia doesn't mean you're going to be able to come back into Thailand. That's what I'm saying. So this is right now, the whole travel industry is on hold. It's in limbo. But what I was saying is that I've been thinking, and I'm thinking, listen, maybe it's time for me. I was thinking this yesterday. It's time for me to finally just get out of Asia for a little while, take a couple of weeks, a month and a half, and go somewhere different. And you know, I've thought about the Ukraine, I've thought about Turkey, I've thought about a number of places, and every time I always come back to Africa. Go a couple countries in the continent, and like I said, I was figuring out, and it works out to about 300 bucks. 300 bucks a day is what it works out to. You need, that's on some kind of a tour. So if you're not on a tour, you need a little bit more. You'll need a little bit more money, plus a ticket. And you know, the thing is I have an Amex card, and the Amex card is for Thai miles. You get Thai flight miles. Now I have a fair amount of miles. I've used them before, but I have some before. I could maybe do something with them. Might help. But guess what? Thai Airways is bankrupt. So like, what does that do for my? You know, what does that do for me? It doesn't do much. I bless the rains down there. This lady doesn't know, can she come in or not? I'm not going to Antarctica. First of all, it's very, very expensive to go there. And I don't want to go on a tour if I go there. You know, I'd rather go with a team. I'd rather do things a little bit different. Not that I know of, not here. There were some fights on in the UFC yesterday, which I watched, but there was only really one. Well, there was two good fights. The Chicks fight, and then Josh Emmett and Johnny Walker. But none here. I haven't seen the little Spitfire that, you know, was here before. But you know, another thing is that this morning I noticed I have some gray hair here, not just here. And I'm like, oh shit, man. If I'm getting gray up above, I better get at it. I better start taking some of these trips that I want to take. I need to make the bucket list, revise the bucket list, and start doing some more things. I got to do it somehow. I have to figure out a way. So, you know, hopefully next year I will be able to do something big. I'll be able to go somewhere and do something exciting. I'm not excited by Thailand anymore. It doesn't really excite. There's not many places that excite me, you know. Well, that's what I keep trying to say to myself and to try to remember is that next year things will start to get, they may not be better, they may be different. Morocco, I've thought about going to Morocco. It's not one of the top places I want to go to, but maybe eventually. We'll see. You know, I wouldn't mind going to Libya or Syria, but they're very difficult to get to and very expensive, and it's not going to happen. But the Congo is possible, Rwanda is possible, Uganda is possible, Angola is possible, Namibia, South Africa. So, you know, I'm working on things. I may start vlog. No, I don't have any desire to go to Egypt. Really, I have no desire to go. To tell you the truth, I really don't want to go to Libya all that much, unless something really is happening there. Somalia, expensive, dangerous. The payoff is probably not that great. I don't care about the pyramids. Pyramids are like temples to me. You know. I'm not a big fan of the desert. You know. I'd go down the Nile or the Amazon or the Congo. I would do that. But I do have some contacts, and you know they can help a little bit. But I may start blogging about you know, the process that it's to get to this, because it may take me a year just to have the money to go, a year and a half, and then, you know, things may change. Who knows? I didn't say they're not dangerous. That's not what I said. Dude, do you listen to what I say, or you have a comprehension problem, or what's the deal? Seriously. I didn't say that they're not dangerous. What I said about Libya is there's not really anything happening at the moment that's newsworthy, that's worth going and photographing, or something like that. I have no desire to go there just to go there. Same with Syria. And I'd like to go back to Hong Kong, but it's not, I've been there many times now, so, you know, several times. South Africa. That's a maybe, you know. I'm thinking of maybe West Africa. I'm thinking of, you know, Japan. I've always wanted to go. I already know. Why are you writing in caps, Bowen? I know Hong Kong is shut down to non-permanent residents. I already know this. Tell me something I don't know, please. Yeah, well, he's getting old now. You know, when you start getting your hair color is gray, they start acknowledging you're old. Listen, you think a young chick looks at me and says, "Oh my God, yeah, he's so handsome, the old man. Oh, he's got gray hair in his beard." No, they're like, "Grandpa," or "Papa." You know, that's what they're thinking. You got to beware of that, soy dog cowboy, before the window closes. Well, you look distinguished. Supposedly. What is the most beautiful skyline that you've ever seen? Oof, that's a tough one, man. That's really hard. I would say maybe in Indonesia. From that one cliff that I was at. I don't remember the name of it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Carlos. What's happening? I'm trying to think though, where would be the best, the most beautiful place? God, that's a really hard one. I like the Grand Cayman, but that was a long time ago when I went there. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I have to write down all the places I went and start thinking about. I've been to Japan a couple times, and I do like Japan, but if I'm going to go there, then that, okay, listen, I went, the last time I went was for the Pride Fighting. I photographed the fights at Pride Fighting. I was covering the event, and it was fantastic. Everything was great. They treated me really well. I'd been there like 2 times before, but I went to Saitama Arena, and it was a great experience. I was only there for, I don't know, 8 or 10 days, something like that. If I was going to go to Japan now, I'd want to stay for like 3 weeks, and I'd want to have the money to buy some camera equipment, some old like film cameras or something like that. So it would be a bit more expensive to go there, It's not really, I can't call it one of my favorites. It's up there, but it's not like, I would say it's not in the top 5 of all the places. Yeah. It's a good question too. Of all the places I've been, what's the top 5 that I've been to? Thailand is one of them. Netherlands is another. Oh, another place I've been that was really, really cool at sundown was White Sands Missile Range. The dunes there. I'd love to spend some time in Japan. Only had layovers. Most of the time on the ground was 48 hours. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sweden, I used to want to go to Sweden, not anymore. I don't particularly like the political climate there. Would I go there? Yes. Switzerland? Yes. France, there's parts of France that are beautiful, very, very nice, and the people are not like what most Americans may think they're like. They were always very pleasant. They were good to me and my friends when we were there. Love to visit Switzerland. So do it. I've been to Vietnam. I was there last year, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I prefer here, though. But living in a place and visiting for, I think I was there 8 days or something. There's a big difference between living there and visiting. The place that grabbed me on so many levels was Iraq. For the raw beauty. I don't want to talk about politics today, really. I really don't feel like dealing with it. I'd rather talk about travel. That's why the subject is what the subject is. The topic is what the topic is. I don't want to talk about politics. I'm tired of hearing all the bullshit. Carl, there you are. I was wondering how you're doing. If you could pick any beach resort you've been to and go back for a week of relaxing, Koh Koot. Without a doubt, Koh Koot. Next would be the Koh Chang in the south. No, actually, that's it, probably in the description, but it's not meant to be. It's not the topic title. It's in the description because the YouTube automatically gives you a copy of the last stream. Yeah, probably a 7 Mile Beach in the Caymans was pretty awesome, but I haven't been there in years. But I'd say Koh Koot is, and actually second to that would be Karamas Beach in Bali. You plan on retiring in the next 5 years? Any advice? Save as much money as you can, because money is your ticket. Money is your power. Money provides you with options. More money, less shit. Koh Samui in 1981 in the hut. I stayed with 2 ladies that came on the trip. Yeah, money. Koh Samui, I stayed before I was married, before I had even met my wife. One of the first trips over, I met this girl. Her name was Joy, and she was a joy. And I went to Koh Samui with her, and we had a fantastic time. It was very, very nice. It was a nice time. But the place was really cool. Now, I haven't been to Samui since then, and I don't really want to go. I'm scared to go and see what it's turned into. No, I don't do any. I know the little, what is it, this thing? I don't know how you do it. What am I supposed to do? Go like this? I don't know how the fuck to do it. It means love. It's the only one I know. Yeah, but Koh Samui, it was nice, but it wasn't all that. You can buy a condo. Thoughts on Sukhumvit? What about Sukhumvit? What do you want? I mean, Sukhumvit is a long street, and it's an area. It's known as the Farang Ghetto, if that tells you anything. That's what, expats who have been here for a long time, they know. The Sukhumvit is the Farang Ghetto. Yeah, exactly. Sukhumvit where? Most of Sukhumvit is known as the Farang Ghetto. I learned to scuba dive at Samui in 2000. Took my American wife and kids back in 2000. I actually learned to scuba dive in the Bahamas, in Bimini, Bahamas. I was a kid, I can't go scuba diving now. I don't know anything about Sukhumvit, just learned something. It's a very, very long street. You could be talking about here in Bangkok. You could be talking about down in Pattaya. You could be talking about, near Nana Plaza. You could be talking about Tonglor. How do I grow such a thick? You got me, man. I don't know. I just let it grow. I haven't shaved in weeks, and I don't want to shave. I'll shave under here because I need to, because it's growing too much, and I'm going to shave my head. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of weeks, but Thank you, madame. No, her name is Tian. It's with it. You gotta add an N to the ends. She's the one who plopped out the kid about a year ago. God, I used to, I've been to Trot before, man. I can't. That place is such a shithole. Big Watch? It's not that big. It's medium size. I don't remember the size. I think it's 53 or something like that. I don't remember. A lot of people now. Place is filled. So get yourself a $5 Casio. I mean, really. Do tourists go to Isan to party? Generally, no, they don't. They may go to, the border of Laos, something like that, They go and I've done it before. You go to, what is it? Oh, God, I can't even remember it now. Nong Khai. You go to Nong Khai, and then from Nong Khai you cross over into Laos. In Nong Khai, there's a little. I mean, it's a pretty quiet town. But I've been there with a buddy of mine and his girlfriend, and we all went out one night. We found a little Thai club to go to. It was very, very quiet, though. It's not like what I've been partying in Massad, I've all over the place. But those places are generally very, they're not anything like the bars you would see in Bangkok or Pattaya or even Chiang Mai. See you later, Bertram. Jesus Christ. Udon is starting to be a big expat spot. Yeah, when I lived there, for off and on for about a year, and there wasn't even the mall there was really, it was not in good shape, and there wasn't much to do. And for things to do, if I wasn't there with a chick. If I had a couple girls at the time, girlfriends or whatever, and if one of them wasn't around, all I would do is I'd go out to eat for dinner, and I'd go to maybe a karaoke or something, and that was it. It was a boring. Well, listen. After a while, you get bored with all of it. I'm bored with the bars in Pattaya. I'm bored with all I don't want to go to these places. What city in the world has the wildest parties? I heard Pattaya is number one. I'd say probably Koh Samui. Koh Samui probably has the wildest parties. Pattaya is not like it used to be. Yeah, and listen. If you're a guy with half a brain and any game, and especially if you're younger, if you go to Pattaya, it's like you're dealing with the girls that are how can I say this? Well, first of all, there's a high likelihood you're dealing with the chicks. They're prostitutes. If you want to have your fun and move on, then great. That's what they're there for. But if you're like, you want to hang out with the regular chick and maybe, you have a little romantic fling for a month, and then maybe, you come back every year or something, and for the next couple of years, maybe you see her or you get involved with her, something like that. If you're young and you just semi-clean, you got your shit together, Pattaya is a place that gets boring very quickly. Nana, Pat Pong, all those places. Forget about it, man. You want a piece of ass, you go there, that's what they're for. It's like going to a soapy. You don't ask some chick in a soapy to marry you, I'm mainly interested in baristas. I'll be honest, it's very difficult to, well, he's gone now. Terry's gone. I think he was the same guy as the other guy. You know, we get these jack-offs in every once in a while. Just, you know, all they want to do is disrupt the stream, which it doesn't really matter to me now. You know, I'm just doing this is what I consider a fun stream. You know, I don't care if I make any money. I'm not here to discuss any one topic. I'm not being serious about everything. I don't, you know, none of this stuff. Lots of people, guys, ask girls in soapies to marry them. Yeah, and those are the idiots. You know, how's the expat community in Bangkok? You know, it's all right. It depends on, you know, what you look after. You know, if you're a single guy and you want to hang out with the boys, yeah, you can get into that, but you got to be a little bit careful. But you know, but if you're somebody like me, it's excellent. You know. Well, yeah. Listen, I don't have anything against any of the girls working or anything like that. I get along with them just fine. In fact, most of them, if anything, I get a little respect because they know I know the game. I know the scene. I've been around for a while. I speak decent Thai. They know that. So, you know, but the thing, what I always say is for some guy who's just coming over here and he's never really experienced Thailand, or he's been here once or twice and he doesn't speak any of the language, for him to go into some bar and expect to pick up some woman who's wife material, it's stupid. Really, it's stupid. Which is why I never recommend anybody to go to Pattaya when you first move here if you don't speak the language and you don't know the culture and expect to hook up with the girl of your dreams. It's not going to happen. I mean, you know, yeah, maybe you get lucky, but, you know, what kind of girl is the girl of your dreams? Is she some chick who, you know, she's selling her ass by night and giving it to you during the day? You know, I don't know. It's up to everybody who, you know, hey, it's not my relationship. Like they say here, up to you. Everything up to you. Thank you very much, Go Hopping. Appreciate that. Welcome to Copper, Thinking with the Wrong Head. Yeah. You know, should make for a great Chowderhead series. I am so over that, you know, and I get asked all the time about it, but I'm so over it, really. And, you know, the thing is that I am older now. When I was younger, I had my fun, man, you know? I mean, go sow your oats, do your thing. But if you're smart, you'll stay single. You know, stay single. And then maybe you hook up with some chick and, you know, she's like a nurse or she's a, you know, a teacher or whatever else. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She's got her own money. She don't need you for your money. She's not going to be sleeping until 4 in the afternoon, wanting to drink with her friends all the time. You don't have to deal with any of that bullshit. You know. Who wants to deal with that? Exactly. Listen, if I wasn't married to my wife, I'd be single. You know, honestly, I'd be single. I'd be single. I'd have a couple friends, you know, chicks that were friends, chicks with benefits, you know, friends with benefits. And, you know, do you miss anything about living in the States? I was just saying the other day, I miss dolphin, the fish. I miss eating dolphin that my mother used to make with lemon and covered with egg and breadcrumbs and fried up in a like a red wine sauce. I miss that. It's my mother's cooking, but I miss the fish. And I miss going fishing. To go fishing for that and snapper and a bunch of other types of fish. With my father, I used to go fishing with him. I miss conch fritters, Miss Key Lime Pie. Yeah, that's about it. As they say, don't make one miserable, keep them happy. Yeah, and you know, the thing is sometimes keeping them, don't make all them miserable. That's the hard part. Yeah, I do like crawfish. The last time I went home, I had some Louisiana crawfish that my parents bought and cooked up for dinner. Very, very good. Teachers or doctors probably not wasted, out cold drunk most of the week. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on you too. You know, if you're in the bar all the time, then maybe you need a girl who's in the bar too. I don't know. But for me, you know, I would think you want somebody that's working, at least trying to make a decent living for herself and a decent career. Is it difficult to go fishing in Thailand? No, it's not difficult. It can be pricey if you want to go alone, you want to charter a boat, but it's always pricey no matter where you go. You know. But it's cheaper than owning a boat. Shout out to the new member. Where's that? Let me get the name right. To the new VIP member of my channel, gogohopping.com. He does have a channel here on YouTube, so maybe you should give him a look. Give his website a try, check it out. I've really only been fishing here. I've been fishing twice. Once I went on a boat with a group of people, like there was like 75 people, which sucked. And then, yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to do with it. I don't even touch anything. Maybe the card, you know, didn't go through or something. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. YouTube doesn't tell you shit, you know, which is part of the problem. And then the other time I went with two buddies. We chartered a boat out of Pattaya, and we went a couple hours out, and we went fishing. We caught some fish. They cooked the fish like right after we caught it. They cooked it up, and it was a nice afternoon. You know, we had some beer. Have you always been in close to Bangkok all the years you have been there? Ever live anywhere else? Oh yeah, Carl. I lived in Udon Thani for about a year, a while back. I lived in Phuket for about a year and a half. And then I ended up going back to the United States for a couple months and worked on the fishing boat. And then when I came back, I was in Udon Thani for a while. Then I went back and worked on the fishing boat. Then I came back to Bangkok, and I went back to Udon Thani, and then I ended up moving back to Bangkok. You know, and I've stayed in some places for a month or two. I stayed in Mae Sot for a month. Hua Hin, I've stayed there before. Chiang Mai, Suratani. But, you know, living in a place just Bangkok and Phuket and Udon Thani. Getting ready to open up here. Place is dead now. There's people here, but it's pretty quiet for this place. Usually there's I'd say there's what? Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 6 would be 12, 12, 16, 20, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. I'd say there's about 60 people, 50 or 60 people in this Starbucks all the time. At least there used to be, not anymore. Now, a lot of these people, they come here, they're like me, they come here and they want a coffee for, you know, for the morning, just a quick coffee. And then when they open up the door, everybody goes inside, they go shop, and they go do whatever they want to do, which is what I'm going to do. We're out of dish soap, and the old lady's working, so we got dishes for my kids to do, and we're out of dish soap, so I got to buy some dish soap today, and onions. So Carl, what's going on there? I don't mind going fishing, but wouldn't like to take a photo in the water holding the fish, considering all the weird creatures swim in the river. I don't know why you wouldn't go fishing in the ocean. If you go a ways out, there's some decent fishing. You know, it's not great, but we caught some fish. We caught our fill. We were all right. In the rivers, that's a little different. Depends on where you are and what's going on. It really depends on the body of water, but it's about like this everywhere in the world pretty much. And you know, would you leave Thailand before 2021 to go anywhere, USA, Asia, anywhere? Just curious. It really depends on what happens here in Thailand. It really depends. Because if they start saying you're going to have insurance and you're going to have to stay for 2 weeks and you're going to have to do this, man, I don't want to deal with all that shit. I wonder how long they're tracing QR. Well, let me just tell you something. Nobody uses them. Nobody's making you sign in or sign out anymore. It's not, people aren't doing it. They do it when they walk in initially, but like, when you just see people walking in the middle of the day or walking out, they check your temperature. That's it. Even yesterday here, they didn't. Oh fuck. Yesterday they didn't make me sign in. I mean, they have the QR code. They just go, oh yeah, whatever. And now I'm like, whatever. I'm not signing in, signing out, doing all this shit. It's enough to get me to wear a mask. I mean, you know, that's a health issue. But it's getting to the point where, like, now people are like, well, maybe I'll wear my mask, maybe I won't. You know. Nobody that's sitting at their own little station, their own little table, is wearing a mask here. They may have a mask on, but it's not over their face. Ah, fuck my name. Got arthritis, man. It's been acting up a lot more lately. I need a hand rub. I need a hand massage, seriously. My hands are in bad shape. People in Japan are getting heat stroke from wearing masks. Yeah, I don't particularly like, you know, some of the masks, they're just brutal to wear them. The cloth ones, the heavy ones, they're just brutal. The light ones, you know, they get sweaty and they get completely drenched in sweat really easily, because it is hot. I mean, it's got to be 90 degrees, 92 degrees here. And then the feel like temperature and the humidity, and you know, it's been raining lately, so there's been a lot of humidity. It's gnarly, man. And you know, it's one thing if it's really doing the job. I don't know that. Honestly, I don't know why Thailand has not had more coronavirus cases. Was it the lack of testing, and more people have it, but they haven't died? I don't know. I haven't been sick in a long time. And I've been pretty good about staying inside and wearing my mask and stuff like that. But like now, I don't want to go drive across town unless there's a good reason, because if you have an iPhone, Apple downloaded. What? If you have an iPhone, Apple downloaded a tracker with the last update, checkout setting for health app. Yeah, I understand that, but they have a tracker for themselves. There is a tracker here in Thailand. they have their own, what is it called? Victory, what is it? Victory, chana, Thai chana, which is Thai victory. So victory over the virus is what they mean, but Thais will be victorious over the virus. But they have that already. You know. I'm not trusting my iPhone for anything. Aside from streaming and maybe taking photos and playing Spotify, that's all I want my phone for. They're getting ready to open up here. Limited person-to-person contact, unlike others, to shake hands. Now that may be true, is the Ying, which I think is a good thing. The other day, the girl Tian was talking, and she said something like, you know, yeah, that girl came in, she punched or something, and I stuck my fist out like this, and she went like that, like in a way to shake hands, you know, like the fist bumping. And I was like, I wouldn't even think, you know, something else that I forget is that I haven't been with the program, as in with what's going on in the United States, living there, experiencing it, with my kids telling me what's going on. I haven't been there it's been 25 years since I've lived there. So I'm completely, I don't know, there's music I don't know, there's phrases I don't know. I didn't even know what virtue signaling was. I mean, I had an idea, but I was like, now I get the fist bump. Yeah, well, listen. Yeah, I mean, that's enough. I don't need any more, Gennaro, believe me. You can have her, you know, you can have her, buddy. She just popped out a kid. You want her, go for it. There's another golden rule, gentlemen. If you are a young to middle-aged man, or you just don't want used up women, you know, one of the golden rule is that the man with the gold makes the rules, right? And not to get involved with a bar chick. Don't get emotionally involved. But the other rule is that if you think, hey, I'm in a place and, you know, hey, I like this girl, she's cute, I want to go with her or whatever, you better, listen, it's better to make sure she ain't popped out a couple kids, man, because you might get fooled. She might have had 3 kids and she looks great, but once you take her back and, you know, she starts taking the clothes off, everything starts falling out, you might be disappointed. I know more than one person that's happened to. And if you say, I gotta be careful what I say here. Do you have baby? And they'll go, no, they don't. And then you find out later that they popped out, you know, they got 2 kids. You're like, I thought you don't have any babies. They're not babies. One of them's 8 years old and the other one's 11. You know, you mean if they ever had kids, and to them they're like, they take it literally, you know. Hey man, you know, I mean, yeah, they 10 and 12. Yeah, exactly. And listen, most women, I'll tell you what, the only exception that I've ever seen and that I know about, aside from the rare occasion that an older woman has done something spectacular for herself, she's really kept up with these things, is if a girl has a kid when she's like, you know, some of them here, they have them like 15, 16 years old. Their body responds much better than somebody who's, you know, 28 years old and pops out a kid, you know. Sounds like you have experience about things popping out with the ladies. Ugh. You can take it however you want it, buddy. Doesn't matter. It's a piece of good advice for a young person coming over who might not otherwise think about it. You see everybody now. Now the place is open. Wrap your Johnson. That's the other piece of advice. Yeah, and her brother is actually her boyfriend. That's the other one. If the guy's sitting a little bit too close to her, and like he puts his hand on her leg, that's not her brother. It could be your boyfriend, could be your pimp. You know. Yeah, lying in Thailand is on a different scale. Yeah, and you know, in their heads they have this way of justifying it. He my family. Oh, Mister, he my family. He my brother, sister. Sister by blood? Oh no, not sister by blood. No. God. And that was such a long time ago. My life has changed so much from when I first came over here. Like I said, I came over here for an adventure. I got an adventure, and I got more than that. The good thing is that I don't have a wife who is really opposed to me traveling. She's fine staying home with the kids, chilling out. Maybe she goes with me once in a while. You know, I've been all over the world, and she knows that it's something that I do. So I don't have a problem with it. She doesn't, you know. Oh, you go Russia. Maybe you have wife Russia. Maybe you... you know, I don't have to hear any of that bullshit. Yeah, and she's getting older too, so, you know. I'm so glad I had advice like this when I was a young lad. Yeah, I didn't have that advice when I came over here. I was just lucky. I was lucky I had some good experiences with, yeah, not even just 2 weeks ago. Sometimes it's 2 days. It's like, oh, I come here, I come Monday. Yeah, well, today's Wednesday. Yeah, I come Monday. Sure you did. You know. I like in the Philippines, you go into a bar and every girl's a virgin. This is a cherry girl. She cherry girl. I have seen a fair amount of bar girls. Listen, I come back now. I give my wife a hard time about it sometimes because she's so relaxed about everything. She's so chilled out. She'll be sitting. I come home. She's sitting in the same place that she's at most of the time, either at her computer working, or chilling out with the kids with one of them hanging on her. I'll come in, hey, and then the kids are, Daddy, hey, what's up? That's it. It's none of this. It's not like it used to be. I came home from, what did I do? Where was I? Chiang Mai? My kids went up to Chiang Mai once. I think it was before my hip surgery or something. They came up and man, they went running across the airport and jumped. Alex jumped on me. We missed you. You know, that was great, but a little bit different now. Now it's like getting them to go anywhere is, you know, I'm going with my friends. Yeah. Hey, listen. You know, when it comes to that, that's fine. The problem is their brain is like 7 levels below. Most of their brains are far. If you're in your 50s or 60s, and you're hooking up with some chick who's 20, you know, they're not in the same place in life as you are. And they probably don't think, they already think differently because of the difference of cultures. You know. God. I am glad that my wife has stopped saying, maybe we should have another kid. She stopped, that was 7-8 years ago. She stopped saying it. I was like, thank you. No more kids, man. Poor lady. She's got 2 little ones. It's like having 2 dogs that are in heat. I don't know how that came out, but I mean, they're running around. They got like chickens with their heads cut off. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, when I lived in Udon I would take a motorcycle and I'd go drive around all over. I went down to, Banchiang, the I forget what it is, a UNESCO place. I'd go down there. I'd go into the city. I'd go into the little villages and go into between all the streets, the little roads. I'd just go everywhere. And sometimes I'd stop in at a little market to get some water, and there'd be some lady, and she'd go, "Oh, where are you from?" And I would tell her, and then it would be like, "Oh, you have a wife?" "Yeah, I got oh, no problem." This is just when I had a girlfriend. It wasn't even the same. It's not my wife. It was another girl I was seeing. And, they'd be like, "No problem. You come, you see my daughter." And I was like, and the first thing in my head is, can I have a little test drive? Can I check her out? Can I try her out? That never went over well if you said, I did say that a couple times. I need to test. They didn't like that very much. Wow, 78 people, and I'm talking about nonsense. Ugh. People must not have much to do. The number of people in the chat has risen in the last couple of months from about an average of between 40 to 50 to now an average of about 80. So that's good. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Click the bell, do all that good stuff. Everybody's leaving now. They're all splitting. Very empty. I think Starbucks is probably their food and their food drinks and all the places that serve these frappuccino and all this other kind of stuff. Even the, what the hell am I thinking? Saparot pan, all these kind of things, filled with just tons of sugar. They're the reason why Thais are larger than they used to be. I blame it on Starbucks. I blame it on all these coffee drinks. Because the people that come in, it's the same people every day. And they drink the same things. Starbucks chemistry experiments, yeah. Well, if there's word of mouth going around, that's good. I do want to go somewhere in Thailand. I am thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out, I got to be smart about it because, it's always about money. How much does it cost? How am I spending the money? What's the return? Do I get a bunch of subscribers from it? Is it a good thing for the YouTube channel? Is it a good thing for me? Is it something I want to do? There's all these things to factor in. It's not, and have I been there before? Am I excited about the place? Which is why I am excited about checking out Africa. I'm not excited about the money. But, in Thailand, there is one place that I'm thinking about going. Would you like some coffee with your whipped cream and syrup? Exactly. Would you like some coffee with your sugar? That's about how it is now. It's pretty bad. And I have one of those drinks probably once every 2 or 3 months. Maybe I'll have a little foo drink. But most of the time I just have an espresso, and I'm getting sick of them because I drink them at home. I drink them when I'm out. I'm just like, do I really need this shit? It's a habit. And what I tell myself now is, hey, you know what? If I manage to save $500 by cutting back on, I didn't buy a coffee today. I just bought a water, which is nearly $1 for the water. But at the end of the year, if you save like $500, $500 is like, that could be a ticket to go somewhere. That could be a couple of nights in a hotel somewhere. In Africa, wherever the country is, if a hotel's $150 a night, that's 4 or 5 nights in a hotel. So I can't drink McDonald's coffee, Jarl, and you know why? You may remember this, but I went in there to get a coffee, and I decided that day I was going to get a cappuccino. And so I bought a cappuccino, and for whatever reason, I just decided to take the top off. And I took the lid off of this cappuccino. Paper cup. Took the lid off, and I took the lid off, and what did I find on the white foam, the milky, frothy foam? What did I find there? Would you like to venture a guess? I found some beautiful cockroach wings. All around the top of the foam was cockroach, and I showed the girl, and she was like, huh? And then they checked, and inside of the coffee machine, they hadn't cleaned it good enough, and there was cockroach pieces in the coffee machine. Yes, not no, yes, for sure. Hotels in Africa are not cheap. Yeah, I know. And I've been doing my research, and there are various ways to go about doing it, but like I said, you got to figure in Africa, if you're there I got to be there at least 3 weeks, I figure. 3 weeks to a month. You're talking about $300, a solid $300, and this will get you, like a little tour somewhere, and $300 a day. Cockroaches in your coffee, extra protein, yeah. Cost extra, yeah. I mean, maybe if they told me, I'd be like, all right, no problem, thank you. I appreciate the free cockroach wings. But we got protein at home. Alex has protein. I don't have a problem, adding a little protein to my drink. That's the exception rather than the norm. Cockroach that's maybe what you think, but it's enough to make me say I don't want coffee from the McDonald's here anymore. I don't. Why? There's plenty of places to get coffee. There's many places to get coffee. Yeah, I mean, I know a fair amount of people, or I know somebody who knows somebody that they can hook me up with somebody in some of the areas, in some of the countries in Africa. And, it would be nice to have, it's always nice to have some friends on the ground. I know somebody in Tanzania. I know 2 or 3 people in the Congo. I know one person, what's the one next? Is it Rwanda? Yeah, it's Rwanda. I know 2 people in South Africa. I know a few people, but I'm always hesitant to call in the favor and say, hey, listen, can you? But if it's not asking too much, then that's a little bit of a different story. A lot of the girls eating extra protein and still French kissing them. Ugh. That would be the best to have local guides. Yeah, and what I'm saying is for 300 bucks, I've checked it out now, and I figured it's anywhere from $300 to $500 a day, depending on what you do, where you go, and if you have a guide, if you have a fixer. But 300 bucks, you can get yourself for about $4,700. You can get like an 18-day tour, and you know they take you to this place and that place, and you go here and you go there, and you know you're relatively safe. You got a hotel that includes, just doesn't include the airfare to get over there. Actually, Ghana is supposed to be fairly safe. Sierra Leone is supposed to be fairly safe now. You know, good places. Mozambique is supposed to be pretty good. I'm not really worried so much about the safety. I mean, you know, obviously that's always a concern. But I can't base traveling just on, you know, well, is it safe? You know, Cambodia wasn't safe when I first started going there. Guyana, a lot of people won't go there. Nicaragua, people won't go there. Colombia, they won't go there. You know, Hong Kong during the, you know, in the heat of the protests. You know, a lot of people wouldn't go. They certainly they wouldn't go out in the middle of the protest. It's getting really screwed up over there now, but he's on an LNG ship, so they have to stay with his daughters. And all kinds of head cutter offers over there. Head cutter? That's a bit. I don't particularly want to get my head cut off. But, you know, I was thinking about everyone's go-to spot is the Congo to relax. Yeah. There's more people than you would think that are there, but there are some definite risks in going there. And going alone. I wouldn't want to go there if I was like, you know, a blonde-haired female and I was all by myself. And I know one girl who, she's a French girl. I don't know her real well or anything. But she'd give me some information if I needed it. And she was over there for months. And somehow she managed, but she's French. She speaks French, which is another thing. You know, it's a big endeavor. It's something like, you know, the final phase of my life, exploring another area of the world, you know. Could always do the Australia thing, go around the outer ridge of the outer edge of Australia. Why don't more? What about Burma, Myanmar? Why don't foreigners, expats move there as much? Because it's a little more difficult, first of all, because of the government, because of living conditions are not quite as good. You know, I mean, there's brownouts all the time, blackouts, whatever you want to call them. They have them all the time, you know, fairly regularly. Transportation is not fantastic. You know, Cameroon is nice, but pricey even for Africa. Oil money there, yeah. I don't know. Is Cameroon still in the midst of are they still in the midst of turmoil there? I don't know if they're still going through it there, but Cameroon, I haven't talked to him in years, but I knew of a Cameroonian Muay Thai fighter. I don't know if he'd even remember me, but you know, I knew of a guy there. No idea. It's got to be at least 30 days. But Australia, I don't know what it is about Australia. Yes, I need to stop being a bigot. Outages of color. What am I supposed to say? an electrical outage. Fuck that. Listen, I don't give a shit. It's a blackout. It's a brownout. They call them a brownout in the Philippines and various other countries. They call them blackouts in some countries. I don't care if it's a cultural thing or not. Never been to the continent, Africa, but bucket list. Yeah, it's on my bucket list. It's been there for a long time. One of the things that I wanted to do, and I don't know if I'll be able to do this, at least, on a first trip or something. But one of the things that I'd like to do, there's one particular guy that I would like to go and meet with who he has various businesses, but one of them is that he takes people out to see the sharks by Dyer Island. And what they do is, that's the island where you get the air jaws where the sharks jump out and they breach and they go up into the air and chase after seals. And it's, for me, I don't feel the need to go into a cage, because if I'm in a cage, it's like, I'm not really all that scared. I mean, I'd rather just go down and go scuba diving, take my chances. But I like to photograph them. But I don't know if how feasible it'll be, because I don't really, it's in South Africa. And it's not the expense so much, although that is always a concern, but it's more the I don't know what else I want to do. If I was in South Africa, what else do I want to do? I don't know, For some reason, South Africa is like lower on the list of places I want to go. And maybe it shouldn't be, Take a trip from Cape to Cairo or something. Take the train as much as you can, and then, any other method. Because, you can't take the train the whole distance, which sucks. Anyway, it'll be interesting. So I may start, in the next couple of days, I may start up, blogging a little bit about what I've done for the day, or what I'm thinking about as far as, trips, and if I start making some progress, like, hey, I'll buy a ticket. But everything right now depends on getting back into Thailand, because I'm not about to piss away $2,000 to come back into a place where I live. It's ridiculous. You have to say dark. Here's the thing. You can say anything you want. You just have to deal with the consequences, which, there shouldn't be any, unless you get really carried away. I was thinking of hitchhiking across Africa. Not. Well, Gennaro, actually, I know of 2 people that have done it, and not all the way across Africa. One guy, he actually was, he's the guy who got eaten by a crocodile. Unfortunately. Feel bad for the guy, man, because he was a badass. But he walked along the coast from what is it, down below Kenya. He walked from whatever the country is down below, south of Kenya, which I can't think of right now. And he walked up along the border, along the coast, went up all through Kenya, okay, along the coast, and went all the way to northern Tanzania. He did that by foot. He walked. Okay. Another guy I just found out about yesterday. His name is something Dawson, Bruce Dawson, I think. And I don't remember where the hell he walked, but he walked some incredible. I think he walked from Cape to Cairo. I think he actually did that. It took him a year or something like that. I'll have to look at it and get the information again. But there are people that do it. I wouldn't want to do it, not knowing the country. I think you're playing with your life. If you're not African or you don't know about Africa, and I think you're playing with your life. Yeah. I'm wondering, how hot is it right now over there? Because I'm starting to get back to where I feel like, okay, I don't want to go through any bullshit, but if I'm walking along on a street somewhere and I got a little backpack on and I have to put a mask on, okay, I'll put it on. If I don't have to, I won't. It's winter, okay. In Africa, you can't always trust the police. Yeah, I know. And some of the people that are posing as police are not really police, which is why, sometimes it's better to say, okay, take me to the police station. I was watching the guy again that, I always talk about, this Kingsley Holgate, and I was very surprised because he said he got stopped. I don't remember where he was because I watch a bunch of his videos, but anyway, he got stopped, and it was him and his. There was a couple of vehicles. There's 3 vehicles, I think. It was him and his wife and his kid when she was alive, and his son, and then other members of his team, and you see the woke couple, the bicycle. I didn't see that. No, that's kind of screwed. But anyway, what happened was they got stopped, and he said, I was very happy when we passed. It was passing into Angola. He goes, we thought we were going to have to pay a bribe, and and I was very surprised to hear this. This is an African guy. He said, we make it a policy not to give in to the bribery. We won't pay the bribes. Because you could need to pay bribes, everywhere. It could bankrupt you. You could go across the country and you wouldn't have any money because you're constantly giving bribes away. So he's like, no, we're not giving any bribes to anybody. We don't do that. And he said, fortunately, we weren't asked for money. And I was like, oh wow. So that's another reason why a fixer can help, because you can just tell the fixer, nah, if he wants to take me to jail, take me to jail. I'm not paying it. And they might take you to jail. You got to be prepared. I guess it depends. Is it a $3 bribe or a $200 bribe? I was giddy like a little schoolgirl. Well, y'all have to look into that thing about the couple who got beheaded, because that's not a good way to go. Certainly not at the hands of someone else. That's my big thing. I don't want to go and have somebody saw my head off, because it's not like they're not using a big guillotine and just your head's off and that's it, it's over. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, that's one thing, here in Thailand that people don't often talk about, but there are times that immigration, especially on borders, lesser used borders, where, you might have 50 Burmese or 50 Cambodians standing around just waiting in line to be able to go up and deal with somebody. And, if you just pay $2 or $5, all of a sudden you're in the front, It's Darwinism. I don't know if I would call it Darwinism. It's not too smart. I mean, it's like, should I go to Sentinel Island? Hey guys, I'm going to Sentinel Island. I'm going to sneak over there, and as I get closer, I'm going to put on my body armor and hope I don't get shot in the neck by an arrow. I mean, it's not really intelligent to go to places where you're not supposed to go. And that's why I always say it's calculated risk. Now, for the people with their bicycles, I don't know where they went, what they were doing. I don't know all the facts. But if you're going to an area that is off limits, Listen, in the Congo, the northeast, is pretty much off limits. You go there and you're asking to be kidnapped. Not good, you know. So that's a place I'll stay away from. Yeah, didn't like 10 or 11 people get shot? Grizzly man saw that. Well, that guy was a bit of an idiot. That guy was a bit of an idiot. Well, hopefully Mr. Mitch is not inside of Chaz or Chop or whatever the hell they want to call it. I wish they would just roll in and steamroll that place as far as the protesters go. Just go get them, take them out, get rid of all of them. I don't care what their new name is. I call it what I want to call it. It's the dumb fuck zone. They're fucking idiots, these people. Excuse my French, but they are. They're idiots. So you got to be cool with them, yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of the time I think, you know, that's how you got to play it. You got to play it cool. You know, they hold your future, they hold your trip pretty much by the balls. And you know, this is the thing, is sometimes the Thai police will come up and they'll start talking, and then they'll go, "Hey, what about your passport?" And I'll go, "I don't have my passport on me. I have it in my phone, and I know my visa, I know my date, I know the number, blah blah blah. I got it all on my phone. You want to check, you can. Oh no, it's okay. You know, but you know, if you start acting like an asshole, then they're probably gonna chew you up and spit you out. So you know, that's the thing for me. It always has been about the challenge of just going and getting through it and enjoying myself and learning new things and having fun. You know, experiencing that. So hopefully in the next, say, 2 months, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Have I ever seen him? I've never met him. I know who he is. I've never met him, though. You're in the States, Washington State, Binder Street. No more agua. Need to go and have some Texas chicken, huh? How does a New Zealander find a sheep in tall bushes? Quite pleasing. Oh, God. Actually, oh, shit. You know, New Zealand was voted last year as the safest place in the world. Safest? Was it safest? The most free place. That has the most freedom. New Zealand is supposed to rank number 1 as the freest place. Your sister lives there, really? Well, there you go. There's your place. You got a place to go visit. Check it out. It's supposed to be beautiful. And free. Freedom. If town doesn't open up and they do, I'll go there. And the sheep are harmless. At least for some people, they're useful in more ways than another. Yeah, you know, maybe I should go over my bucket list. I have to review I still have an old list that I made up. I'll have to go over that and maybe go over it in a stream or something, or a video. I don't know. Good idea. The bucket list. I already talked about the whole thing, actually said by Kingsley Holgate, where if you're, let's see, if you're 30 years old, I forget how he did it. If you're 30 years old and you think you'll live till 80, you've got 50 years. Now, out of those 50 years, you've got 10 years where you're probably not going to be physically able to do some of the things you want to do. So you got 40 years. So you figure out you got 40 years to be able to do everything you want to do. Now, if you're older like me, I don't have that much time. You know, maybe I got 20 years left. If I got 20 years left and I can only do everything for another 10, 15 years, I'm running out of time. New Zealand is very expensive. Yeah. Actually, I would like to go to New Zealand more than I like to go to Australia, to be honest. Nothing against Australia. It's just, it's too much like Canada and the United States to me. I think that's what it is. I mean, it's about, I have the same desire to go to the UK, which I've already been many times, but I don't have that much of a desire to go there for whatever reason. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. 2020, forget about it. I just saw another article yesterday saying that don't expect Thailand's tourism to even approach normalcy until 2022. You know, so it's all these things are coming out, and it's like, all right, well, if 18 months from now, that's the end of 2021, I should be able to swing that. Financially, it's always a dicey. But, okay, let's say that I can swing it. Then I got to think about, you know, everything else. And then the other thing is there are places I can still go in Thailand. And there is one place in particular that I was thinking about going, and I don't know if it's open. I don't even remember the name of it, but I remember what it is, and it's on the border of Cambodia. And, yeah, I gotta remember the name of the place, but that was a pretty cool place. That was some place that I'd like to go. But it'd be nice if the buses would allow foreigners to go on them. That's another problem. You know, the buses, some of the buses allow foreigners, some of them don't. Canada, isn't that the place where they say, eh? Eh? I spent a little bit of time in Canada when I was a young kid, you know, up on the northeast. I don't know exactly where I was. And then, I don't know how many years ago, but it was a while ago. I went to Vancouver and also Kitimat, which was really, really cool. So it's not good for a foreigner to be a resident at the moment. Traveled to Koh Larn last week. The bus, I think I had no problem with it. Yeah, it wasn't that transport company though. That's the only company I think. There's one other one that might be a little iffy to use the bus. But it's good to know though. So I don't know if I would consider it. It's not. I mean, I'm not a permanent resident, but I reside here. So would I say it's not good for me? I'd rather be here than be in the United States or Italy or the UK. I'd rather be here. You know. You know, until the countries start opening up and things truly get back to normal. Maybe they just go, okay, now we got the price of the test down. It'll cost you $50, and you got to have travel insurance, something like that. Then it's like, okay, no problem. I mean, it's a huge ordeal now. It's just such a such a pain in the ass. Okay. Need to be on the road, man. The man from Snowy River. I don't know what it is. I just, maybe it's because I know I can go there anytime I want, pretty much. And they speak English, sort of. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. I don't think that that's a bad idea because you get your money back. Here in Thailand, you have to be in a hotel for 2 weeks, which is like you're paying that money out. You don't get it back. I don't give a shit about the NFL. I can't deal with the NFL. I don't want to know about the NFL. I don't give a shit about them after everything they've done, how they've gone back on everything, and it's just anybody who starts supporting the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I don't have to deal with any of that shit here, and I don't want to. Newfoundland. Newfoundland. I think I'd rather go to Greenland or Iceland. But, you know, those places are they're expensive to go, first of all. And I got to be able to get something out of it. You know, get something out of the experience. Like, I really want to go there. Like, I wanted to go to Africa since I was a little kid. I wanted to go to the Congo since I was a little kid. You know, it's you know, Thailand wasn't since I was a little kid. You know, Seattle is a nut house. Yeah, they had the Black Lives in Chiang Mai. 12 people showed up. Yeah, good. Let them show up. Put them on the list. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous. Because just I don't know if you saw the thing about the that flyer that went up about non-white photographers. All that did was piss me off. Non-black photographers, sorry, non-black photographers. You know, you're allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. And by the way, are you going to contribute to Black Lives Matter? Have you studied what Black Lives Matter is about? It's just like, I don't give a fuck. Fucking stomp on these peons. These are pinheads. Usually I don't have a problem to have an open mind, but when it comes to some of the shit they're talking about, I don't want to think about it. I didn't want to talk about it today. I really don't want to talk about it much in the future. I don't want to think about it. You know, I got another SIM card. I was actually thinking about I'll shut this phone off, just leave on the Wi-Fi when I need it, and I'll shut the number off, and I'll use my other number. But now my other SIM card, for whatever reason, I can't put money on it. The card's probably expired. So Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn got me. I actually just watched that movie. African Queen. I watched it the other night. It's a good movie. I don't really like Katharine Hepburn. She irritates me. I find her abrasive. Yeah, and Nong Kai's, yeah, it's a border town. So usually the border towns tend to be a bit slow, like in Massot. You know, I've been out to little clubs there. I've, you know, gone all over the place. I took a whole group of guys out one time there. Yeah, most of the time it's a sleepy little place. If it wasn't for the people coming, the tourists going there to get their visas or whatever in the past, that town would be nothing. You know. I thought we were going to have the big brawl again. Listen, the one place that I went out with my two friends, the guy and his girlfriend in Nong Khai, the little pub or whatever bar. It was a bar. They called it a disco, I think. The one place we went, there weren't very many people there, and his girl had massive breasts, and she would wear like a tube top. So she was dancing, and her tits were bouncing up and down and going all over the place. And the Thais that were there, they couldn't stop looking at her. So it was like, you know, it was a bit much. But it was fun for while I was there. It was fun at the time. She was drunk. Everybody was drunk. You know. The good old days. Gennaro, there's one for you. She's not a barista, though. No baristas for Gennaro. You're forbidden. Uh-oh, looks like Preo had just come in. There you go, Gennaro. It sounds like a trooper to me, yeah. Well, you know, there's something about a sloppy broad, you know. Sounds wonderful. When will those days be back? Hey, your guess is as good as mine, buddy. I'm just hoping that, you know, listen, I think what not only Jono and, you know, everybody, but like Jono, myself, Longhorns, Soy Dog Cowboy, Fidelity Quester, all of us. I think the biggest thing is it's not that, you know, you have some restrictions. That's bad enough. It's that you have restrictions and then you may not even be able to get into a country. You may not even be able to travel. So in effect, you are locked in. You are still in lockdown. And after a while, that gets to be really, really restrictive. That's the word. You know, it's irritating. Especially there are times when I think to myself, you know, I would like to, maybe I'll take a train and go across the border and just go in a little ways and check things out and hang out for 2-3 days, you know. Maybe I can do that. Oh, wait, I can't because I can't get back into the country. You know, so that gets a little bit, we still have less restrictions than here. I don't know about that. People, I mean, I still go out. I can go out just like a lot of places there. There are still people going out. They're not locked down saying stay at home. You got, you know, here, if you don't wear a mask when you're out, people will look at you. You know, I mean, if you're sitting on a song town and you're away from a bunch of people, there's 1 or 2 people, you're not going to get a hard time. But if you're in the middle of you know, you're in the middle of a group of people and you're the only one not wearing a mask, you're going to get shit. They're going to give you shit about it. In the United States, they're still debating on whether they should be wearing masks. They can't come up with the, you know. They still don't know what they want to do. Hong Kong is pretty unrestricted. Well, it's not unrestricted for me. It's very restricted for me. Did you listen to the old man in the chair today? I don't know what that is. The old man in the chair. Mask or you're dead, blah, blah, blah. Only to get into the bigger stores. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, listen, if I go get some dim sum across the street, or I go get some soup across the street for lunch or something like that, and I go in, nobody cares if I got a mask on. New York is on my bucket list. Vernon Coleman, the old man in the chair, brilliant commentator. Oh, I'll have to listen to him. I like the commentators. I got my own thoughts on life. The world according to Malin. Everybody's a commentator nowadays. Even my mother was saying, well, everybody's got an opinion. And I was like, I wanted to say it, but I didn't because she's my mother. I wanted to say, everybody's got an asshole too. Doesn't mean you're right. Stuff and stuffing. This place is getting lively. Slowly but surely, it picks up again. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, it's getting to the point where it looks like rain is on its way. This afternoon, I think there'll be some rain. Well, the last time I went to New York, when I went with the family, you know, I had a good time. It was only a couple days, 3 days. It was fun. It's different. I'm glad that I got to go there with them. That was what was cool. You know, my boys. We went into a old style kind of deli. I don't even remember where the hell we were staying, but you know, we got to go in and do some things. We went around New York and Manhattan, and we took the subway, and you know, that was kind of cool that I did that with my kids, you know, and my old lady saw it, and you know. So, and I would like to go back, but not now. I don't want to go back now. It's the last place I want to go. Let's see here. There you go, Gennaro, that's for you. I ought to go to the one, it's on, what is the name of that street? It was voted as the Starbucks with the most attractive women of all the Starbucks. It was down by that place, the Muse, the hotel that I went to a couple times. It was over there somewhere. She is yum. Yeah, you know, she's all right. The deli was probably cats, and I was a cop here almost 25 years. It's Pussy Town now, and not the good kind. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the place. All I know is that we went in, we got some stuff to eat. It was great. You know, it was very Italian deli. And there goes Preo. She must not have to start work until 12 o'clock or something. Yeah, I'm sure I'll do that for you. Fuck, I don't remember what I was gonna say. Too much shit running through my brain. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the deli, but it was good. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. And I went outside with the boys, and we ate our sandwiches right outside. We're just standing there eating them on the street. And then I told them to sit down up against this wall, and I took a black and white photo of them, and it came out great. And I always liked that. I always liked that photograph. You know, it was one of the memorable shots I took of them. So, anyway, fucking vaccine. Listen, if it just opens things up, give me the goddamn vaccine, all right? I'll take the shot. You know, I'll pay you the $25 or $50 or whatever. I'll get this shot, and then I get to, you know, I get my freedom back. You know, just knowing that you can't come back in is enough. And, you know, maybe things will open up in September, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be, think about 6 months from September. It's October, November, December, January, February, March. So maybe sometime in March, I'm going to say, things will be better. And who knows, maybe you'll have to do the 2-week quarantine still. I don't know. You know? Yeah, he wants to, listen, you know what? As long as that vaccine doesn't kill me, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be dead anyway in another 20 years. You know, it's my time, it's my time. But what I do know is I want my freedom back. I want my freedom. Like I want my MTV, I want my freedom. They need to take responsibility, get that vaccine done, and let me come back into the country. I don't want no tattoo, invisible or otherwise. I don't want the purple dot, I don't want anything, unless it's purple microdot, but you know, many of you may not even know what that is, or might not have ever experienced it. You're banking on 20. So you see now, I came in here at 9:30, okay? I came in here at 9:30. I didn't have to scan anything. They didn't check my temperature, nothing. Now they've closed the door over here. They've closed the door, you can't get in there, they've locked that. But when I walk out of this door, right over here, when I walk out of that door, they got some hand cleaner. I just have to clean my hands. Now, I could scan out, but I haven't scanned in. I walk into the mall. That's it. There's nobody checking my temperature, nobody doing anything. So what is the point of all this bullshit? They'll find something. Too many countries spending billions on it. There'll be more vaccines. Yeah, you're probably right. Usually I wouldn't bank on the whole... the whole vaccine thing. I wouldn't bank on. They don't have a vaccine for Ebola. You know, or AIDS. But I think in this case, I don't know. Then the other thing is that they have different strains of the virus. I heard in Florida they have a different strain. The strain in China supposedly originated in Europe. I mean, I can't keep up with all this shit. Listen, just don't let me die from it. You know, I'm not ready yet. I got a few things I want. I want to see my kids have kids. You know, get started in their lives. You know, I want to make a couple more trips to the United States, see my parents. I want to hit get the bucket list for Africa and get all those items checked off. There's a few things left I want to do. But, you know, time will tell how difficult or how easy it will be to get these things done. Because if you can't leave a country and then get back into the country, it's a one-way ticket. He's not coming in. Sorry, Gennaro. We had another guest for you, but I don't see her coming in here. Anyway, our stream has come to its conclusion once again. It's time to go. I got things to do, people to see, movies to watch, research to do. So time to go. Please click like, share this stream if you can. Leave a comment if you got anything else to say about it. Subscribe. And if you want to check out my website at americaninbangkok.com, that's one of my websites. And you just look in the description, it tells you about everything. You want some merch, there's shirts, there you go, Gennaro. There's shirts, there's books, there's coffee mugs. I'm thinking about getting a little iPhone things, but you know what? To me, the little phone covers, to me, listen, I buy a phone cover, I'm not buying it because of a design on it. I just don't do that. So I have a hard time with that. I saw some new designs that are out today and, models and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do it. But anyway, thank you for joining me. And until next time, that's all I got. So, Chokdi, Let, Jerken Mai, why? You too. Everybody have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. Keep your chin up. And see you guys later. All right? Adios.